Welcome back. The British comedy writer Armando Iannucci is best known for his sharp political satires. His latest offering is the black comedy film In the Loop, which has just opened in the States to rave reviews, and in Canada, and about to be appearing all over Europe. The film traces the backstabbing, the scheming, the backroom manoeuvrings in Washington and London in the build-up to an unnamed war in the Middle East. Interrupt there for 1 second to say, why is Iraq not named?
Because I wanted it to still feel contemporary, and it's not a take on 7 years ago or anything. Yeah. It's almost implying it could all happen again.
Right. Interesting point, right? Anyway, he also has a new book out, The Audacity of Hype. But before we speak to Armando, here is a quick clip from the film In the Loop.
It's your chance to nail the line. Do you want to nail the line?
No. I'll freestyle.
Wait.
Hello there. Hi.
So, is war unforeseeable, Minister?
Look, all sorts of things that are actually very likely are also unforeseeable. For the plane in the fog, the mountain is unforeseeable, but then it is suddenly very real and inevitable.
Right.
Is this your opinion, or is this the government position?
The mountain in the metaphor is a completely hypothetical mountain that could represent anything.
So who's the plane and who's the mountain?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that to walk the road of peace, sometimes we need to be ready to climb the mountain of conflict. Thank you so much.
Well, there it is, Armando, and a great performance there, star performance.
Oh yeah, Tom Hollander as the minister, Simon Foster, who in the space of about a minute turns from being against the idea of a war to being quite hawkish. And his statement, climb the mountain of conflict, in the film is seized upon by the pro-war faction in America.
Right, and the motivation, the initial motivation for doing this film was your anger about things like the Iraq War, though you don't name it. Was it based in anger as well as comedy?
Yes, I mean, you're right about, you know, if you parody something, you sometimes, I've done lots of news parodies, and it's because I'm a fan of the news, and if I want to do a comedy undermining this political process, it's because I'm actually very politically fascinated by the behaviour of politicians, the things they say, and the arguments they put forward that actually disguise other arguments. And I got really frustrated in the whole build-up to the invasion of Iraq that the points that the Americans and the British under Blair were making didn't seem to tally with what was going on in reality. There was this veneer of saying negotiations were taking place, the UN was going to be brought in, votes were going to be had, whereas all the time you knew that the whole wheels were set in motion and the whole thing was inevitable. And either you throw your hands up in despair at that, or else you think, like I do, it has the elements of farce about it, really.
And what was the reaction to the film in Washington? First?
Well, a lot of the film was based. I went out to Washington and did a little bit of research prior to making the film, speaking to people who had worked in the State Department and the Pentagon and CIA and the United Nations, and based the storyline on what they were telling me. And we then played the film a couple of months ago to lots of Washington insiders, and they laughed throughout it because of the accuracy, but at the end the mood was very somber. There was an air of them saying that's how it happened. Although it's a comedy, it's more or less how it happened, and we're sorry. I don't think they'd say that. I don't think they'd say that in public, but there was that air of you've got us time to write.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
All right.
And what about the Middle East? How that's coming up soon after Europe, isn't
distribution there, yes, it's coming out.
One of the points that people write about is the outspokenness of the language, the four-letter words, etc. Yeah. Will you have to do something about that for an area like the Middle East? Not the whole of Middle East never swears, but I mean that it is not.
I don't know. I don't know technically what's going on. I mean, and sometimes it's far better to redub it than subtitle it, because the dialogue in it is so fast and furious anyway that it's far better to replace it with new voices than to have lots of text flashing up. But yes, the central character, Malcolm Tucker, who is the UK Prime Minister's communications director and spin doctor, is quite voluminous in his swearing, and that's really because I wanted the thing to feel real. And you know, if you meet these people and talk to them about what life is like behind the scenes in such a stressful environment, there is a lot of swearing that takes place.
Really? More than in television?
More than in television. Well, I think from what I gather, people who have seen the film and who have worked in politics have come up to me afterwards and said, it's not half as bad as it actually is. If anything, it's far worse.
Yeah. And in terms of the politicians in this, is it more, do you think, more maddening when they talk absolute gibberish, nonsense, or when they're being deliberately misleading?
Well, that's the whole question is that, and a lot of the film is about not painting people as all black and all white in terms of their characteristics. Sometimes there are people that you warm to at the start who in the end make decisions that you would disagree with in the film. And there are people who are dislikable in the film at the start, but who actually stand up for themselves at the end. Because my take on it is that something like this is a product of miscommunication. There's not evil intent behind it. It's the cumulative effect of all the middle management figures in politics not quite knowing what to do and keeping quiet, or saying the wrong thing, or slightly covering up for something that they may have said that they now know they shouldn't disagree with publicly. Like the clip there, a politician being backed into supporting a war within a minute of saying he was against it.
Yeah.
And it's just the build-up of all these little accidents and incidents that leads to something quite devastating.
Thank you very much, Dean. Good luck as the film spreads out all over the world, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Okay, thank you very much.
We'll take a break. That's what we'll do now. And then we'll ask the question, is Barack Obama's honeymoon over already? Find out after this short break.